The question left hanging throughout the raw material is, what is Ra's purpose? Why is this sixth density social memory complex speaking to some hippies out in the middle of the woods? Ra says that the purpose of their contact is to express in the confining ambiance of your language system the feeling of the infinite mystery of the one creation in its infinite and intelligent unity. The purpose of the contact is such that we can form correct metaphysical opinions, and thus as a species can intelligently organize around love and understanding. Part 1. Evolution and our role. Why does evolution seem to be carefully and intelligently designed, planned, and engineered? The Logos has complete free will in determining the path of intelligent energy, which promote the lessons of each of the densities towards the end of self-consciousness and self-awareness in the third density, where the Logos is considered to be this kind of divine order and creative reason that underlies creation. Life is the fullest expression of that. So there's this third density, which is two strata up from the emergence of physical matter. First we have these kind of base primal materials, and then we get to this density of organization where you have plant and animal life, and then finally you get to the awareness of third density, which is this stage where we're actually able to have some sort of intelligence and social organization. And this is why rapid transformations in biological evolution occur around the time of the emergence of human beings. You have the transfiguration of apes into humans, and this occurs pretty rapidly. You have the loss of body hair, change of physiology to allow for speech, clothing, extreme brain growth, dexterity with our hands. We have this mind that's very powerful, but at the beginning it's only really used for these base needs of survival and reproduction. But eventually we learn to use our free will for polarity to service to others. Ra says, some love the light, some love the dark, but each of these paths is not the path of intelligence, because if everything in the universe is the expression of the same ultimate identity, then there's no real reason for this separation and hatred that we have of one another. They just caught in the throes of life without any consciousness, direction, or awareness. But we, as third density beings, can choose to participate in the organic evolution of the universe in a way advantageous to the ultimate reality. Those who are intelligent are those who have realized that the purpose of all of this is love, is kindness towards one another, and have seen that the experience of active love is what compels people to then live moral lives and to build a world that everyone would want to live in. We'd want other people to be loving and kind, because that would create positive experiences for us. So in the same way, we have to treat others how we would want to be treated. This is the golden rule, and that if we all do that at a global scale, that is that intelligent organization behind love and understanding, and is the next stage in human planetary evolution, which doesn't necessarily come in like this transhumanist sense of we're all going to upload our minds to the clouds or whatever. There will be a somewhat more ephemeral body, but really the true transformation is in our consciousness. It's in our degree of polarity towards service to others and service to Creator. And all of the created world, all of the earth, will in some sense be a sacramental avatar in the way that we will be able to express better our love for one another. Part 2. What is the nature of the universe? Like many thinkers such as Rupert Sheldrake have suggested, has an electromagnetic substrate. Electromagnetism and electricity is in some sense the fundamental force that structures the universe. The physical universe is actually created of the confluence of many energetic and electromagnetic fields that interact due to intelligent energy, which is this kind of primal substance that creates everything in physical reality and is able to program itself and respond on the fly to freely changing internal conditions in order that it can kind of change and creatively adapt to the evolution of the universe. And so it's very versatile, which is why it's called intelligent energy, as opposed to the way we usually think of energy, which is just kind of the ability to do work. This actually has the ability to decide on what work it will do. And so that intelligent energy is then structured by layer upon layer of electromagnetic energy and the physical distribution of energy in the universe. This, the intelligent energy, builds things which are able to freely make decisions in reality and participate in its organic evolution. So this is the teleology of the universe, because that's what everything is striving towards. It's for the universe, the essential stuff or energy of the universe, to become physically structured in a way that reflects the evolving structure of reality. And this occurs through the emergence of life and consciousness, which is all physically structured by these excitations and serve as a medium for the interactions of this mental, physical, and spiritual energy. And so this intelligent energy is further structured by the mental patterns of observer participants within reality who have a participatory role in the structure and dynamics of reality itself. There's actually this really interesting point in the session where Ra tells the questioner, Don Elkins, that something like the CTMU is about to emerge, and that the physics of Dewey Larson, who's another physicist who Elkins was fond of, and kind of had these divergent ideas about science, which were actually very good, was still incomplete. Something a lot better was around the corner. Ross says that the physics of Dewey Larson, that's not as far as we're able to go. There's actually a lot of things that are not included in the system. It doesn't have as much logical structure. Yet there will be actually this kind of universal physical theory which will emerge, and will understand gravity and the dimensions of the universe with logical rigor. This prediction is about the harmonization of the CTMU with a unified field theory, resembling aspects of cutting-edge ideas in the physical sciences. It's not just a coincidence that almost all of these ideas emerged around the same time as the CTMU and the Law of One materials in the 1980s. These are actually the theoretical developments of the Law of One, which are then brought into the unified theory in the CTMU as kind of the holy grail of the physical sciences, and is a grand unified theory not just of physics, but also metaphysics. Part 3. Evolution and Understanding. The practical use of this material will actually not be at our present day, but in the fourth density Earth. So this is when we'll actually reap the fruits of the CTMU understanding of reality. Ra says that third density has 100 times as hard of a course load, let's say, of catalytic action than any of the other densities, because there's so much to learn and so much to teach, because there are a lot of problems in reality, and what's recognized as like a huge problem that's like super big and scary for us. All these huge scary problems are actually seen as great catalysts by the spirits which are incarnating here. In our lives, we just have too much data and too little understanding. We feel like we're thrown here, like we're born behind enemy lines. But truly the purpose of our terminal incarnations is we have short lifespans, and you have this problem. You have like 70, 80 years to make all of these decisions, and it's really not enough to gain the wisdom in order to participate fruitfully in reality. A great amount of our species find themselves in a perpetual childhood because they're just not mature enough and haven't learned the lessons of third density and aren't able to evolve past this scarcity understanding of the world. But as we progress as individuals in the species, we stop trying to see others as extensions of ourselves that we can just use and manipulate. We actually form a communion with others and remember that our true identity is actually shared with everyone else in the creation. So there's this sleep, which is we're born into this material reality, which is in some sense illusory because there's not as much separation as our consciousness would make it out to seem. We're actually all connected to each other in ways not discernible on this plane of existence. We have to turn and go beyond ourselves and turn in movement towards the other in ways that are not technically useful for survival, but are actually the purpose of human life: companionship, laughter, beauty, the need to know and understand the universe, to trade, to love, to be loved, and to elevate our kind of base desires and instincts to a more universal perspective. And once we're able to do this, we actually become an active participant in our incarnations, and we're actually trying to figure out as a spirit complex of how can I best serve ultimate reality? What is my purpose in this world? And the entity can decide for himself who to incarnate as, select his parents and the conditions of his life experience to create catalysts and trials for his spiritual evolution, which are programmed by the sort of non-terminal spirit, which he might not be consciously aware of, but is directing his life and evolution. Part 4, fourth density. The law of one is the most basic law. It says that everything exists as one undivided whole. Everything is the expression of the same ultimate, one universal original thought. We need to understand that we're all the expressions of the same ultimate identity and come together on that basis through shared intelligent unity and understanding. But what the law of one is about is then not necessarily all this like abstract metaphysics, but it's about ethics. It's about using that knowledge in order to participate in the world in a better way and to have love and understanding and wisdom and all of these things that we want. If everyone in society has that, then we begin to manifest on this kind of cultural, international scale all of these positive changes which occur in reality. But it starts with the individual becoming ethically integrated and then extending that out into his family, his community, his nation through righteous action, through serving others. There's a sense in which our thoughts create reality because our thoughts direct our action in the world, and we're able to be a programming agent in this world and actualize our ends and intentions. And if those ends and intentions are good, then reality will get better. The law of one in the CTMU will be fully explicated throughout that fourth density period, and as I've said in the series, it needs to be for the fifth density harvest. And the law of one had, really never been fully explicated in third density, or even to the level of specificity in the CTMU papers or the raw material. There is theology and philosophical systems which are quite good and come quite close, but really in terms of understanding the ultimate nature of reality, that didn't emerge until very, very recently in human planetary evolution. But certain aspects of the law of one, even though they're not complete sources of information, require logical interpretation, has emerged in many of the holy writings that are venerated by religions, and we need to love and cherish and understand those in order to kind of come together as a species. We need this meta-religious structure where we see this core structure that underlies all of the different religions, and then understand that us living human beings have a purpose in this reality, bring all these religions together, and not in this syncretistic way, but in a way that honors and cherishes their differences while recognizing that they're all expressions of the same ultimate truth. And then we have to figure out a way to get along, and that's how we get the brotherhood of mankind. That's how we get unity around solving our problems, is through this meta-religious structure. And once we properly figure out this role, how we should participate in the destiny of mankind, then everything with spirituality and science, this will figure itself out, because we'll have these institutions with independent researchers, and they'll be able to dedicate their time and effort towards the further explication of this system. But right now, we're just in crunch mode of this is actually what's needed for in the near short to midterm future of how we're going to bring us into fourth density. So we are immensely important spiritually, Ross says, because we are a spirit or a portion or a holograph or microcosm of the macrocosmic infinite one. So we are the self-expression of the universe as a whole, a secondary image of God. And even though there are all these problems and intransigent evils, those are really illusory, because the earth is alive and it's able to heal itself if it uses fourth density as the shuttle into the health of individuals, society, and the planet. And the answer is to get past this victim and aggressor dynamic and instead intelligently organize around love, wisdom, and understanding. And that's what will bring about this process of great planetary healing. Blessed are they that hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be filled. As Ross says, specific information about metaphysics or philosophy pales to insignificance just as the grass withers and dies, while the love of the one infinite creator redounds to the very infinite realms of creation forever and ever, creating and creating itself in perpetuity. Why then be concerned with the grass that blooms, withers, and dies in its season, only to grow once again due to the infinite love and light of the one creator? This is the message we bring. Each entity is only superficially that which blooms and dies. In a deeper sense, there is no end to beingness. Let the light shine forth in the darkness. May the peace of our Father in heaven be upon you. Like and subscribe. Peace.